As they draw near the target. Cap positions are erased.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at peace with that nation.
As international politics rumbled at the start of World War II, Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt sat at the forefront of one of the most powerful nations in the 20th century. While most people know these leaders to some extent, no ordinary time demonstrates a deeper level of understanding about these leaders than the average history textbook can muster up. In her book about the couple during the war, Doris Kearns Goodwin attempts to unravel those complex ties. Goodwin successfully demonstrates the Roosevelts' leadership capabilities in detailed context, as well as the complicated relationship between the President and First Lady in order to display the true greatness of both Franklin and Eleanor. In her book, Goodwin quickly demonstrates the often rocky relationship between FDR and Eleanor. Since the book only spans the months leading up to Pearl Harbor up until FDR's death in 1945, Goodwin spends only a brief time describing FDR's affair with Lucy Mercer in 1918. While this affair ended long before FDR's presidency, it visibly affected his marriage in the long term by breaking a major form of trust between him and Eleanor. During the time frame of the book, Goodwin emphasizes the various flaws in FDR and Eleanor's relationship, which helps to shape their roles in the White House. Of these major differences, Goodwin allots the most space towards displaying FDR's need for relaxation and periodic breaks from stressful daily work. FDR often enjoyed to relax with his famous cigarette in a holder, and also with cocktail hour in the White House. No wonder he pushed for the 21st Amendment. While FDR enjoyed casual relaxation time, Eleanor's mind revolved more closely around political work. Goodwin portrays Eleanor as an extremely motivated First Lady, wanting to solve every issue quickly and effectively. Obviously, this need to work around the clock clashed with FDR's need to relax. Most historians commend Eleanor for her great work ethic, but Goodwin shows that it sadly played a role in dividing the first couple. Throughout the course of the book, Goodwin also stresses the importance of a lesser-known White House figure, Missy Lehane. During much of the presidency, Missy acted as a companion to FDR, mostly because of the fact that Eleanor could not always help FDR relax. Goodwin points out that the relationship between FDR and Missy actually also helped the relationship with FDR and Eleanor. This companionship allowed FDR to talk with Eleanor about political issues instead of more personal ones. In No Ordinary Time, the Second World War stands out as the major point of discussion in much of the dialogue. In the period leading up to U.S. involvement in the war, Goodwin includes additional information regarding FDR's thoughts and ideas about monumental decisions such as the Lend-Lease Agreement. The story depends heavily on FDR's meetings and relations between the Allies' other major leaders, Winston Churchill and Joseph Stalin. While most historical books tend to focus on the major decisions made by these three, relatively few take Goodwin's approach of showing how the leaders interacted. She successfully portrays FDR as the most powerful of the three leaders in their somewhat awkward international meetings, which foreshadows the future tensions of the Cold War. Although she does this well, she limits her approach of the meetings strictly to FDR's point of view. This hinders the book in some fashion because it clashes with the style of the rest of the book, which provides additional views on each topic for a more complete picture. Goodwin also argues that Eleanor Roosevelt kept a strong leadership role throughout the war. The author repeatedly refers to Eleanor's newspaper column as an outlet for the First Lady's leadership. She also shows Eleanor's point of view by displaying the humanitarian work that she did, which involved speaking out for integration, women, and helping Jewish refugees. Goodwin also discusses Eleanor's travels to visit troops in theaters of war, which significantly brightened the spirits of the Allied troops. Although Goodwin demonstrates Eleanor's profound leadership capabilities, the author also fails to include the major effects that Eleanor's work ultimately accomplished. While Goodwin successfully shows Eleanor's goodwill, the author hardly displays the outcome of the First Lady's ideas. While Eleanor wrote in order to reach the US population, FDR used public appearances to display his leadership role. Goodwin provides a window into FDR's thoughts and goals at the time of individual speeches, such as the somber D-Day address, or the more humorous Fala speech involving his pet dog. Overall, No Ordinary Time maintains a clear focus on FDR and Eleanor Roosevelt, while providing sufficient background information about the era for everything to make sense. Goodwin does an amazing job at portraying the first couple's complex relationship and its characters. However, the book still maintains a few weaknesses. While Goodwin successfully portrays the characteristics of Franklin and Eleanor, she focuses on their personalities almost to a fault. Instead of demonstrating how the Roosevelts affected the world, she shows how the world affected the Roosevelts. While this aspect does not make the book undeserving of its Pulitzer Prize, it does seem odd for an historian to focus so much on the personalities as to nearly obscure their major accomplishments. In spite of these weaknesses, Goodwin still accomplishes her goal of demonstrating the leadership capabilities and personalities of both Franklin and Eleanor Roosevelt. She provides sufficient information about the Roosevelt era and shows that FDR and Eleanor dealt with much more than the average couple. The story follows a novel-like plotline, which makes it easy to read, but challenging to use for history facts. Altogether, Goodwin clearly demonstrates a deep level of understanding in her book by displaying the complex characters of FDR and Eleanor and proving their leadership capabilities.